Moloch, a deity embodying true violence and misery. Moloch is the god of child sacrifices, worshipped by the Canaanites in the Bible. But what if I told you that this deity or god, or some people refer to it as a demon, is still being worshipped today? And I'm not talking about by the Canaanites. Every single year around July, elitists from around the world all congregate in California to perform this demonic, paganistic ritual.
Once again, midsummer sets us free.
Hi, welcome to Dine, where I basically eat and talk about conspiracy theories. And usually the food I'm eating right now is going to be made by me, unless I'm really, really lazy and I just want to, just eat. So I'm going to give some context to like the whole origin of the Bohemian Grove. Oh, words. The Bohemian Grove / club. So basically, the Grove was founded or created around 1872. And originally, it was just artists, newspapermen, like very low-class people, like with typical jobs. That's why it's called the Bohemian Club, because Bohemian is like just like a normal, schmegler, regular person, which is very ironic because like all the people in the club right now, they're all elitist, they're all rich, they got that dough, that cheddar. So, not me. Yeah, so originally it started with just like the common folk, right? But then slowly they were adding like more and more members. And like they're letting rich people join because they're like, oh, might as well, you can join. Because the whole point of the club was just to appreciate art. So that's why there's like a lot of, if you like, you can't break in and you can't really go unless you're one of like the elitists. But back then it was just like, a place where they would like watch plays and like, enjoy their time, get drunk, enjoy art, right? And a big motto that they always use is "Weaving Spider, Come Here Not," which is a reference to Shakespeare, A Midsummer Night Dream, which I read a little bit of it and it's actually really funny and I think you should read it too. But yeah, stuff like that. You can tell like originally everything was just like related to, just like celebrating art and literature and all that stuff, all that bohemian stuff, right? Then the rich came in, bought everything, and now no poor person or common people is even in the club or allowed in the club, unless you're a guest, but yeah. Now, you're probably wondering how we got from celebrating art to that. Like I said, the Bohemian Grove is only for the elitists, like all the higher ups of the world, right? So because of this, no outsider is meant to come in and participate in the club. So here comes Alex Jones, and if you don't know him, well, he's the guy famous for this quote.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Serious crap.
So yeah, he's a very big conspiracy theorist. But yeah, so basically when he was way younger, so around the time, everybody knew about the Bohemian Grove and the Bohemian Club, but they didn't know exactly what was happening. Like, there was a lot of rumors about, like, demon worshipping and all that, yada, yada, yada. All that great, spicy stuff, right? So he was like, you know what? I'm going to try to be the first one to break in. Like, I'm going to try to break in and, like, record footage, right? So that's what he ended up doing.
How did you manage to sneak in?
I basically came to the main gate and crawled down through the swamp
and then went up and got into the main parking area where they have these big open backed trucks that come in and take the members in. And I basically just climbed on to the truck with some other members, had a conversation with them, and then they stopped us at an internal checkpoint, and some security people climbed on asking us what group we were with, and I knew enough about some of the club's names inside to tell them I was part of the Hillbillies, which is the Texas delegation.
So the main footage Alex Jones got on his little sneak in was on the Cremation of Care, which is a ceremony that I'm gonna break it down for y'all. Originally, there will be a guy on a boat with an effigy, and that effigy is named Care. So what the guy on the boat would do with Care, he would row his boat to the little small island in the middle. And then on the island, that's where the statue, the giant owl statue. When I'm talking about giant, this statue is 40 feet tall. So it's huge. So once he arrives to the island, he's greeted by all these people in the little brown or red, like, hoods I was talking about. That looks / resembles like the KKK hoods vaguely. But yeah. So yeah, he will be greeted by them. And then basically they will take the effigy and burn it in front of the owl statue. And that will be the whole ceremony, right? And especially because of Alex Jones, like I mentioned, he was like, if you watch the documentary, he kept talking about how like the effigies about the size of a child, and he was asking researchers how like, oh, the anatomy of the effigies like very, very similar to like a little boy or a little child basically. So because of this, everybody's like, oh, that statue has to be Moloch. Like the effigy is representing like a little kid, right? And they're basically burning it to its god, like a little sacrifice. Because back then, when the Canaanites were worshiping Moloch, they would take their children and basically burn them alive as like, their sacrifices in a way to worship their deity. So, because Alex Jones recorded all this footage, everybody was literally losing their mind. Because it was, like, before this, there was, like, I guess there was some photos of the club, but it wasn't mainstream. Not a lot of people seen it. And also, there wasn't, like, video footage of the club. Like, Alex Jones was, like, the first, and I think basically the only person to ever record the Cremation of Care. So, some people believe that the leaders that joined the Bohemian Club are basically performing this ritual in order to keep their power, making a pact with like the devil or a demon, Moloch, in order to, control the world. Now, it's looking like BS to me. See, my problem with the whole theory about Moloch is that that's not Moloch. But yeah, like I was saying, that's not Moloch. Moloch does not look like this. Moloch looks like that, right? Moloch is described as a bull. This is an owl. And it does not really take a vet or an animal ecology major or animal science major to distinguish an owl from a bull. They're not the same. They're not even close to being the same animal. So the whole Moloch and them worshiping Moloch, it's a bunch of crap. Literally, the only reason why this is even a theory is because of Alex Jones' documentary, where he was basically the first one to even call the statue Moloch. Because the more I dug, the more I researched, it looks like Moloch was never associated with being an owl till that documentary. Because whenever I was reading conspiracy theories on the Bohemian Grove, it will always mention Moloch and then Alex Jones together. Like, it's always together. So that's how I already know that that statue is definitely not Moloch. And also, it's not a bull. Two, if we're gonna follow the lore of how people really, or not lore, but like the practice of how you actually worship Moloch, traditionally, Moloch would be like a little, not a little, but like a giant idol thing, right? And he would have basically 7 chambers. And in that chambers, you just lit those 7 chambers on fire, and that's where they will put the child's sacrifice in. Very gruesome, horrible way to go out. Very sad, right? But it's nothing like the Bohemian Grove, because basically they're taking a effigy, so not even a real child, just a little doll, and they're burning it in front of an owl, not within an owl. Like, and also it's not supposed to be an owl, it's supposed to be a bull. Or like a man with a bull's head. Like, it's still not the right god or deity. And the thing is, so many people are so obsessed with Moloch, but it's not even, that's not even the right god if you're gonna try to call it anything like that, right? That's why I'm not really invested in the theory that these elitists are like devil worshippers or they're worshiping Moloch. Maybe they are devil worshippers, right? But it's definitely not Moloch. And I was like, who else could it be? So I looked up different deities, right? And all the deities associated with owls, they're all women, for one. And I find it very ironic for the Bohemian Club to be an all-male club. Like, they literally do not allow any women to join. And their deity, or like the god they're worshiping, is a woman. It's like, okay, that's okay. It'll be a little weird or ironic, but unless the god, or unless the deity they're worshiping is like saying, oh no, I only want men to worship me. So that could be a thing. But like, literally, if, like I said, I looked up the deities associated with owls. They're all female goddesses, and I feel like it just wouldn't fit the theme. Like, with the typical narrative that like they're demon worshippers, it would feel weird if they're worshiping someone like Athena or Lakshmi, like another goddess. But Lakshmi is like a goddess associated with good luck and all this, and they're not evil too. Like, none of the goddesses I looked up are evil. So with that narrative of them being demon worshippers, it wouldn't fit. But it would fit the narrative of how originally the club was originally made by literatures who were highly influenced by like mythological allusions and like Shakespearean plays. Like, Shakespeare loved using mythological allusions, right? Referencing to Athena, Zeus, all those gods. So it would make sense with the owl statue being a reference to Athena, or like wisdom, just like, because owls in general just represents wisdom, so it makes sense that like there would be an owl statue given the context of the beginning of the club, right? But if you really believe, like strongly believe that no, this is demon stuff, it's not Moloch. I'm sorry, it's not Moloch. So previously I've been using this image of Stalis, aka the Prince of Hell, whenever I said Moloch or Molech. I've been saying his name so many times that it sounds weird now. But yeah, he literally fits the description way better than Moloch. Stop using him, please. Please just stop. Do your research. But with that being said, I am going to cut the video short because I realized that like the whole video talks about 2 different theories, and I wanted to like focus on one main thing. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. The second part should come out sometime this week. If not, I mean, you're gonna still get a new conspiracy theory on Saturday, every Saturday, but you might have both, like, you might have both the new one and the second part to this one come out at the same time if I don't make it on time. But yeah, have a good night. Don't stay up late, all that good jazz.